a scandal built on secrets, power, and whispers of blackmail. But now a stunning claim is cutting through the noise around Jeffrey Epstein. Not a network, not a web of powerful targets, just one person. As his own former lawyer challenges years of speculation, one unsettling question now emerges. Was the myth far bigger than the reality? Or is the real truth still being kept out of sight? A scandal that refuses to fade, a figure surrounded by mystery and claims that continue to divide opinion. Fresh remarks from a former insider are now challenging some of the most widely believed narratives surrounding Jeffrey Epstein. In a recent interview, prominent lawyer Alan Dershowitz has pushed back against what he describes as widespread misconceptions about Epstein, the late financier and convicted sex offender whose case sparked global outrage and intense scrutiny. Dershowitz, who was part of the legal team that helped Epstein secure a controversial non-prosecution agreement with the United States Department of Justice in 2006, said many claims surrounding his former client have been exaggerated or remain unproven. Speaking on the Podforce One program, Dershowitz told the Post's Miranda Devine that he regrets his association with Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein, obviously, I regret defending. I wish I had never met him. He was a terrible, terrible evil man, but even in that case, many of his crimes are exaggerated. The vast majority of women who claim to be victims either came back over and over again to get the $250 to give them a massage, or themselves became recruiters of other people, or never met Epstein and just made it up. There are real victims too.
These remarks are likely to provoke strong reactions, given the sensitivity and seriousness of the allegations tied to the case. One of the most persistent theories surrounding Epstein has been the suggestion that he operated a blackmail network connected to intelligence agencies. Dershowitz firmly rejected this notion, stating that there was no link between Epstein and organizations such as Central Intelligence Agency or Mossad. He said he had directly questioned Epstein about any such connections and was told unequivocally that none existed.
I don't think he was blackmailing people, though I think he was interested in collecting information about people, and maybe he would have used it to defend himself. But I don't think he ever affirmatively blackmailed people. Categorically told me that he had nothing on Donald Trump at all, that Donald Trump had done nothing wrong whatsoever. So, I am actually a witness to the fact that Jeffrey Epstein said that he had nothing. He had something on only one person.
Dershowitz wouldn't reveal the person's name, but noted he's not a political figure, just a well-known person. The former Harvard professor also argued that Epstein technically wasn't a pedophile.
I have no information about any pedophiles in the Epstein circle. A pedophile medically is somebody who is interested in prepubescent people. Prepubescent people 10, 11, 12.
Dershowitz also addressed theories surrounding Epstein's death, stating that he believes the financier died by suicide in his prison cell. He attributed this conclusion to Epstein's personality, describing him as a hedonist, and dismissed speculation that his death was linked to a broader conspiracy. The comments add a new layer to an already complex and deeply controversial case, as questions continue to surround Epstein's activities, connections, and legacy. New and deeply disturbing allegations have surfaced around Jeffrey Epstein's remote Zorro ranch in New Mexico, with survivors and witnesses claiming that men were among the victims of sexual violence at the property. According to a new documentary and multiple media reports, testimonies describe a pattern of abuse at the isolated compound, long linked to Epstein's trafficking network. While many allegations remain unverified and under investigation, they have triggered renewed scrutiny by state authorities. In interviews aired on 60 Minutes, survivors detailed conditions inside the ranch, describing coercion and repeated sexual assault.
The scariest was Zorro Ranch. It's in the middle of nowhere and surrounded by mountains and miles of dirt. There was a lot of time spent in my room, like a mouse in a trap waiting for a knock on the door and for someone to say, "Jeffrey is ready for his massage now." The order meant rape, full-on, forced on sexual rape.
The documentary further includes claims that men may also have been targeted, marking a significant expansion of previous allegations focused primarily on women and minors. US Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury, who is backing the investigation, cited testimony describing such incidents.
A man actually claims that he met Jeffrey Epstein and was brought to the ranch, and he was drugged. He describes in detail a scene in which multiple young men were raped at the ranch in front of him after he was drugged.
When asked whether she had heard about Jeffrey Epstein's alleged preference for minors and young women, but not men, Stansbury replied,
Yes, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were serial abusers. They really were super predators, and it was just how they lived their lives.
But the depravity went even deeper with the two most explosive claims coming from a leaked email written by a staffer, alleging that two women died at the ranch. The tip-off, sent to the FBI in 2019 but ignored for years, claimed the pair were strangled by Epstein and Maxwell during rough sex. The email read,
Did you know somewhere in the hills outside the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madame G? Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex.
Congresswoman Stansbury said the allegations align with patterns seen in Epstein's broader trafficking network.
That particular tip matched the pattern of other abuse and transport and trafficking of women. And that's why it raised alarm bells for me. There's certainly hundreds of allegations of women who experienced really dark experiences. So I think we're really dedicated to getting to the bottom of the truth of what happened in New Mexico and on that property. They have now conducted a full physical investigation into the property, including imaging all 7,500 acres of the property.
The investigation has intensified following the release of millions of documents under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, alongside fresh testimonies about alleged trafficking, abuse, and potential cover-ups. Former New Mexico Attorney General Héctor Balderas also raised concerns about earlier federal handling of the case.
For the life of me, I can't understand why you would leave New Mexico out.
As investigators revisit one of Epstein's most secretive properties, the emergence of allegations involving male victims adds a new dimension to an already complex case.